when the delta's getting absorbed, I get confused.
Yeah, that's weird.
And my bias just over today my bias is just like to control of me, which sucked. But I see what happened where I fucked up. Um shit. Where shall we begin?
Dude, explain
From the
what the
beginning.
delta is.
All right. Hold up. I'm trying to think what day would be. Let me show you one where it actually worked because today didn't work. So fuck, I opened the wrong one. I'm gonna just start sharing my screen.
Were you napping right now?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
No, I was eating.
Oh, that's right. But when you got on, you like yawned for a bit.
I feel like napping. That's what. Um. All right, I'll do Thursday. No, Wednesday. 5:20. I'm gonna go over 5:20. Uh. So with Delta, it's not that complicated. I was telling Gabriel last week, CBD was more complicated than Delta. It's just getting used to it.
Yeah,
Um,
my problem is knowing what to do when price gets there. Do I wait for it to break, or do I just go on the retest, or do I even trust a level just because it has a lot of delta
yeah,
buyers?
that's one thing that I myself, even today, I was overly focused on Delta, and it wasn't even my key level. So it's still like everything is still the same as far as like you need a key level to be there, and then let Delta tell you what's occurring at that key level to confirm. So say like price is going into supply, um, you want Delta to confirm if it's being supported, if supply is being supported, or if it's getting rejected. Um, Actually, this one may not be. Hold up. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Um, it's just that this entry was a little early, and it was right under supply. So I just don't want you guys to get confused with the fact that it's more valuable when it's at a key level. But the all right, I'll just go over this one for you. The 20th. Hold up. You already have your book map on with the delta, Eloy?
Yeah. I just right clicked where it said SVP or CVP and then found it through there.
Yeah. Um. So the delta is it's like a footprint chart. It's just telling you who's who's aggressively buying in that moment. So like right here at the open. So even if you just look at right before the open here, the delta is spiked the highest here, and you can see 727 versus up here you see 274. So just comparing, and this is like regular CVP, it's only going to tell you what your chart is currently displaying. So all this is telling me is that down here there's heavy sellers, and up here there's weak buying, or there's less buying. Um, so when it comes to the CVP, I mean the delta, I'm really just looking to see who's being more assertive at that moment. So right now, right before the open, I'm just seeing that sellers are super strong. My key level is at 73.83. So it's the same thing applies. It nothing real. I mean, you could use it the way Carmine uses it, like as a way to get to a key level, but it's still it, you prefer it to be at your key level because it could get choppy. You know, like there's times where, like today, I try to use the delta before it got to my key level, and it didn't work for me. Like you really want it to be at that key level, yeah. Um, but I took this trade a bit earlier. I'm just trying to think of. I'm gonna go straight to my trade just because I know exactly what happened. So I took the trade at around 740, I believe. Um, but even if you look right now at the delta here, you can see 1,000 lots got filled. This is telling me that buyers are super aggressive here at 7,400. My key level was 7,423. So let me just mark that here. I use it for context as well as it's going to my level, just to know like who's controlling the move at the moment. Fuck, that's the wrong color. Oh my gosh, I'm so unprepared today. Seven. I took it at 7:39, so it's not even here yet. All right, so right now, just looking at the what happened at 7:15, I believe there was news. I'm just checking my
What date is this? The 20th? No, news was at
20th
7:30.
at 7:30,
Or 7
and
o'clock.
there was yeah, and at 7 a.m. So it seems like the news kind of got delayed a bit here, 15 minutes, because this move was massive here. It was like even just looking at the bubbles, seeing how it off.
Wait, if news has the capability of being delayed, then how does that affect trades?
That's why I prefer to like wait 5 to 10 minutes after the 7 a.m. candle, the 7 a.m. mark happened. I mean, it could Trump could tweet something at any time, and this shit could happen. So like, it's all about putting probabilities in your favor at the end of the day. So you just don't want to do it right when the news is about to release, but um, it could be delayed. Like sometimes either the news doesn't come out or there's still some other kind of information that is being they're waiting upon. So right here it was actually at my 2 hour demand, but it was such a fast move that there was really no way for me to capitalize on it.
So
And what go ahead.
at this moment, are you resetting or waiting for like your setup to reappear, or how are you viewing this action?
So off the 2 hour demand, um already in my mind, I knew that this 74.23 could be a potential level that gets broken because it was a weaker overnight supply, and I knew that the stronger supply was 74.50. So this overnight 4 hour supply came from Monday or Tuesday, either Monday night or Tuesday morning. But basically it was pre-market. So knowing that, and knowing that the stronger supply was up 74 at 74.50, and knowing that we were in a range here. So 4 hour was the bottom of the range. The 4 hour supply, 4 hour demand was bottom of the range. 4 hour supply was top of the range. Look at how Monday we hit the 4 hour supply. We dropped down to the 4 hour demand. Tuesday we dropped into the 4 hour demand. Reclaimed it aggressively here, right in the middle of the session. So that already told me going into the overnight session that buyers were trying to be aggressive here in the intraday session. So that's a good sign for bulls. So in my head, I was like, okay, bulls are trying to hold this 4 hour demand. So then once we got down here, I was looking for ways to get long, but there is no real sign to get long, like no real confirmation, I should say, to get long down here. But look at once this bounce happened, you can see that at this 73.80 inside of my demand, so this red candle basically, there was 627 sal delta here and it failed. And even if you were to like take into consideration what we used to call outliers, this is a 1,000 lot outlier here, and sellers couldn't push the market any lower. CBD rallied super aggressively as price pushed super strongly, and as it pushed strong, this 400 lot delta also got filled at 73.85. So this was already telling me that this was super strong. The fact that this 600 lot seller couldn't push the market lower, and then instantly we get this strong push and buyers start to build up heavy. This already starts to tell me like, okay, this 74.23 level is capable of getting tested. So I know that I don't want to trade anything in here because it's basically it's not my key level, or else what happened to me today would occur.
So you want price to stay above 73.85 area,
Yes, for bulls to remain in control. So even if,
and then your target's 74.23.
I mean, that could be a trade, but I don't want to trade in the middle of this range because remember how I said the, or I changed it to a 2 hour because it was a 4 hour and a 2 hour down here. But the bottom of the range was the 4 hour and the top of the range was the 4 hour supply. So I really don't want to be trading in the middle of the range, but I knew
Wait,
that
where are we? Are we in the demand zone?
we're bouncing off the demand zone right now
Oh,
here.
okay.
So this move was so strong that it never even came back down to 73.85. I don't think. Even if you look at the candle here, like it was just a massive ass candle to 7,400. Yeah, I don't think it ever comes back. So this already, but yes, you're right. If it did pull back to 73.85 and held, especially with these limit orders, like that could be a potential setup. But just like zones, it's not a specific price. It's a range that you want to focus on. So the range I would focus on here, I wish I could draw a box. I just fucked up my chart right now. It would be this 73.85 to this 73.80. So if price were to pull back down here, I would want to look for buyers to aggressively be popping up price around here.
Oh, okay.
And that'll
And then
represent itself as limit orders on the map.
it doesn't
Now,
necessarily have to be limit orders. No.
Hmm.
Limit orders are this here.
Oh,
This
that's right.
this and this is just telling you CVP here, the delta is telling us who got filled already. Limit orders is showing us who wants to get filled.
So in a demand zone, when we're looking at delta, what story do we want the delta to tell us? Like, so right now, let's say I'm looking at that bottom, and that 627 delta of sellers got eaten up.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking for that in a demand zone for reversals, right? We need to see strong sellers fail in demand,
Exactly. Yes.
and
That
then
that's preferred. But just keep in mind, it's not always going to be like one large number. It could be 200, 200, 200, and just stacked up selling
Like
that just,
clusters.
yeah, exactly. So it could be displayed in different ways. But that's why you still need to like pay attention to everything else we've learned. Like the idea of like price aggressively trying to break and it doesn't break. Um just everything that we've learned. CVD holding and now pushing up. But just because you see large buying and large selling doesn't necessarily make that level super strong. You still want it to align with a key level that you have. So in this case, we have the two I have this 2 hours 73.83, which does align with the aggressive buying that happened here at 73.85 and the aggressive selling that failed at 73.80. So if price were to come back down in here, that's still within that range of the key level. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you want the delta to align with those kind of levels. So that leads me to now as price rallies, we know that buyers are in control here because CVDs has a massive ass rally up. Price is just pushing up ridiculously strong. We see the sellers failed down here at the 627. We see 496 buyers, plus more buying just stacking up, and price easily pushing higher. There's nothing really stopping price from pushing. So this is all bullish momentum and bullish signs. So as it gets to this 4 hour supply zone, in my head, I'm thinking I don't want to fight this bullish momentum. Even looking at the candles here, you can see how strong these bulls are. So that's already making me skeptical about being short at this 74.23 supply here. And look at how it's pushing in. Exactly how it's pushing into price. That's just super strong bull momentum. And now this is things you have to catch like in the moment. Look at how this 585 lot seller got filled at about what price is it? 74.11. I had mentioned that in the Discord. I was like, okay, we got 70 at 74.11. A large seller could not push price lower. So that is even bullish momentum. Even if you look down here, it was a 627 lot seller that couldn't push the price lower. Now we got a 585 lot seller that can't push price lower. So that just adds to my bullish thesis there. The fact that sellers cannot reverse price. Now, is it paused? Oh no, it's still playing. So now I'm seeing these buyers build up here, and I'm watching for buyers to stay above this 585 here. Just to give me context of what's happening. Like, are buyers remaining in control? Now this becomes 639 lot seller.
So you're not looking for an entry.
No, not yet. I'm just looking for what is price telling me right now. What is Delta telling me where the price wants to go? Price is trying to push lower, but it's kind of like lagging. It's not. We got 600 lot sellers, and price is not aggressively trying. Well, it is trying to break lower, but it's failing to break lower. So now in my head, I'm thinking, okay, if bulls are going to remain in control, they need to recapture this 74.11 area here.
Are you waiting for a pullback into demand zone again?
No. Now we're already what I'd prefer, because this is another thing, Eloy, you really want to take into consideration is so we have these limit orders up above. We have this 74.25, we have this 74.30, we have this 74.35. just by looking at how price is right now, I would prefer price to hit these 74.30. If we reclaim this 74.11, I would prefer price to hit these 74.30 limit orders, clear up a bit so that we can push higher into the next liquidity. Uh, but right now we have this 74.25 blocking liquidity, blocking the route to 74.30. So I'm just observant of when I'm seeing buyers get build up here, like in supply, for example. I want these buyers to show that they're making room to the next liquid to basically hit my target. So right now we have a wall at 74.25 and we have a wall at 74.30.
So your entry is potentially 74.25.
Now this is where this trade that I took specifically became a little different than normal because we're seeing all this buying build up here 74.23 to 74.11, and they're holding price here. So I'm not building a trade idea yet. I'm just aware that we have this aggressive buying and these sellers filling. So now remember my key level is 74.23, but price is currently building a range between, I'll say, 74.25 to this 74 like 15 area. And you're going to see this range start to build up even more right now. Kind of want to fast forward a bit. Okay, now look at how price buy. You want to see. Remember it. You want to see if buyers truly are in control. They should break through these liquidity walls with ease. They shouldn't have to struggle too much if buyers are really in control here. I just fast forwarded it. I should
I was
have.
gonna be like, man, that was with these.
But see how like they broke this and the limit orders completely. I almost wanted you guys to see how it happens because that's kind of important. So sellers are trying to put a wall here, and you want to see buyers break them easily. See, even the strength in it, the liquidity just completely clears. Remember, I said they have to get above 74.11 where those strong sellers were, and now they're clearing up pretty damn easy here. The buyers are just getting super strong, and we still have these walls that we need to clear up here. We still have the 74.25 also.
So you're letting it create a range first.
Yeah, but I want to see as that range is building up, I want to see the liquidity up above clear up because if these limit orders stay here, then this is not a good sign for bulls. That means bulls are trying to push higher and they're not able to. The wall of sellers is not allowing them to make any movement to the upside.
Oh.
So as these buyers try to keep pushing, you just see them continuously breaking these walls of limit orders, which to me is catching my attention. And I'm like, okay, bulls are staying in control here. And if you compare today where it rejected and sold off from in the morning session, it's completely different than the action that's happening here. Right now, we're seeing limit orders appear and price breaking through these limit orders.
It looked today like there was a lot more buying delta, but the selling was just taking over.
Exactly. Price was struggling to break above, especially above, I think it was like 75.15. They just couldn't break. See how here, yeah, there's limit orders, but price is actually pushing through and making room, and then the limit orders just keep moving up higher and higher. And around the time that I got long, this liquidity up above started to clear up, and I was like, "Oh shit, they're making room for momentum to the upside." So
Now, did you
now
choose? Oh, go for it.
I was gonna say now that I know these sellers are at 74.11, all I really care about is to see what's happened. I don't want price to get back underneath this 74.11. If price gets back underneath this 74.11, any long idea can be invalid. I mean, it could reclaim, but we already seen the reclaim. So preferably, I wouldn't want to see it pull back and break under again. And still here, I'm not like rushing about jumping the gun to get long. I'm just observing. My initial idea is to see them, and keep in mind, right now we're seeing 634 lots at 74.25. That's a thick wall of liquidity. So I wouldn't even want to try to long into this because look, it's a huge wall of sellers
So,
here.
did you pick 74.25 because it was a higher high from the previous high? Does that make sense? Because
Picking,
like why did you pick those limit orders? Where is it because there's heavy selling
it's
delta right
just,
there?
yeah, it's just that ever since price got up here, these limit orders have been sitting here and they haven't cleared up at all.
Mm.
So that to me is already telling me, okay, there's something here that sellers want to block. And then if I zoom out, these 74.30 limit orders have also been sitting there the whole time. As price was before it even got to supply, these limit orders were just sitting there the whole time. So to me, I'm like, okay, that's interesting. It's interesting that we have this large selling here, but price just cannot break underneath the 74.11. It's trying again right now, and it still is struggling to break 74.11. This is telling me this is bullish, but it's still not fully bullish because this wall of sellers is still sitting there. If I were to
Dude,
get long,
this
this
shit
is
is so obvious after the fact. It's crazy.
oh yeah. But now here, look it breaks it here, but in my head, I'm still thinking, okay, if they reclaim these 74.11 sellers, the strongest selling that you see all or one of the strongest selling that you see. It's if you compare 627 at the lows and now we have 658 at the highs. So that's the biggest selling we have all session basically.
So you know how when Carmine takes trades outside of the zones, but like let's say a long happened already outside of a zone, and he's trying to find an entry in the middle of the zone because he believes the bulls are still going to be in control.
Yeah.
If we're talking longs, and so this range you just came up with is now the range he's coming up with in the middle of
It's
the.
similar, yes. But I want it to still be closer to my key levels. He'll do it like in the middle of somewhere where there's not even a supply or demand around there. I tried it today like that and it fucked me. So that idea of needing a key level is still super important to me.
He's really good at trade management, though.
Yeah. So he could get stopped out, but it's gonna be a 3 point loss. And mentally he'll still be in the game. You could count me out. Put me on the bench, coach.
Damn. So that's damn. What you just explained is where that Mark Douglas book kicks in of controlling your emotions.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
I only
But look
ever
at here.
go for it.
Sorry. I was just gonna say, look at how strong this buying is happening now. and it's getting back above 74.11. So this still adds again to my bullish idea that if 74.11 can still hold, this can still be a working thesis. But I still need this liquidity up above to clear.
You know what this little pattern looks like right now? When like just it looks exactly like the candlesticks on the side of there, where it touches the zone and then takes off. Then on the pullback, it gets a little deeper than the zone and then takes off.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's kind of like you found the range of where that might happen again. It's different because that little first move doesn't have limit orders, which is what we're used to seeing in the setup at key zones.
Yeah, that's one thing. That's where I'm trying because I don't know if you guys realize the past few trades I haven't been marking those. You know how we put like the our confirmations, the key level, the limit orders, the CBD. I'm trying to figure out how to think of the limit orders in this case because they don't appear
They're
the same.
becoming, yeah, becoming inconsistent.
Yeah, exactly.
I noticed that too.
So I'm trying. That's why I haven't really been marking them or noting that part because I'm trying to still see how to word that because I need to see the pattern in it also.
So they might be deleted from our confirmations list eventually.
Not not even necessarily though because there's still you're gonna see this wall of liquidity right that we see here is gonna clear like it's gonna become so obvious. I'm gonna
By
just fast
clear,
forward a bit.
by clear, you saying
Oh,
there's
oh.
spoof orders, or cleared like the buyers ate it all up, like they bought all those sell orders.
I look at here how they're currently eating up all those limit orders now.
They're clearing those limit
Yeah.
orders.
We still have that 74.25 there though, but they're
So was your mind on anything else besides the limit orders for 74.25? Like, because to me the higher highs make it a little bit stronger too, because it's making a higher high. Yeah, it's kind of bullish.
wait, what's the question though?
Did you just pick 74.25? Because like what I was confused on this week was when I saw limit orders above a certain level, I would get confused on which ones to pick. That's why I was like trying to get in your head the last time I was talking to you about it.
So here my initial idea here was I want to see price hit these 74.30s, pull back and hold 74.25. But that wasn't happening and I was just like what like it was throwing me off a bit. So I was like, okay, this 74.25, I want to see what happens here. It's getting tested here. It clears. Look at how clear it made momentum.
Yeah.
Now it pulls back and we still have these 74.30 limit orders. So I'm like, okay, this 74, remember how I said I wanted to see 74.30 get tested and then pull back and hold 74.25? But since all this buying here is being held, the sellers tried to break low. Well, you can't see it now because I zoomed out. These 600 lot sellers are tried to break price one, two, three times and failed. And then we got this super strong buying. To me, I was like, okay, as price started to pull back down here, like, okay, all this area here is buying. It have been buyers so far. So if price pulls back down here and then buyers show that same presence, that now that this liquidity has been cleared, that now makes 74.30 a valid target.
Mm,
So remember how I said you don't want to make it your zone a specific price. You want to
yeah.
make your zone a range. And
Yeah.
now I know what the range is of my zone here because I see all the aggressive buying built up and prices remaining above these buyers the whole time.
So if your zone's arranged, well, obviously the zone's arranged, but if your entry is arranged, so say, are we doing the same break and reclaim thing then? If we take it inside that range, under the actual level of demand, you know? Does that make sense?
Say it again.
Like, so we usually do the break and reclaim above a zone, right?
Correct.
So if our entry is a range from, let's say, 74.15 to 74.23 or 25 or whatever.
Yeah.
So normally, I know this isn't demand, but normally we would let it break above and then reclaim around that area. Oh wait, no, I guess that works.
See
Never
what
mind.
the break above is technically price breaking these limit orders.
Oh,
Because
okay.
this was the wall that was blocking us from moving higher. Now
Yeah.
that wall cleared up, and as long as when price pulls back down, the ease of buyers stays there. You see their presence still remaining very strong. They're not trying to break under 74.11 again. That makes this bottom of the buying range super valid to get long.
Yeah,
Because
that's good.
now for a push higher, you don't have these 74.25 limit orders blocking you anymore. And now that gives you a target from 74.15 all the way to 74.30, 15 points. That's almost exactly how our moves are.
And what would your stop be?
My stop would be, I don't remember at the moment. I would have to see how price is reacting when it pulls back. So I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward a bit. We know the limit orders got cleared. Even here, though, at the moment, I'm still thinking like, I want to kind of see it clear these 74.30 limit orders, pull back and hold. But as this was happening, I was thinking to myself, okay, there's massive buying down here. So expecting it to hold just at the 74.23 wouldn't make full sense because we still have this aggressive buying down here at 74.15. Now, at this point, if we lose 74.11, okay, I'm going to go ahead and invalidate it unless we get a super strong reclaim. But these 74.30 limit orders are remaining there. We see the massive buying that occurred right before. So you don't really want to be fighting that momentum there. I'm gonna fast forward here. 35. So now we get this rejection. As this rejection is happening, we're seeing if I zoom out, we're seeing CVD still holding higher lows on this pullback, and the pullback is pretty strong. Also, those limit orders still have are cleared. They haven't came back. They're still leaving upside move room to push to the 74.30. Now prices over here near where that buying had occurred. We still have that 74.11 large selling here, the 649. So that's the 649 74.11 price is my line in the sand. I don't want sellers to get back underneath that at this point. I see these 74.15 limit orders.
Do you have
I
a
want
range for your? Do you have a range for your stop? Oh wait, what was your stop again?
I don't know yet. I don't remember at the top off the top of my head. Here it says it was 3.75 points. I entered at 74.17. So it was underneath these limit orders, I believe. Or no, that's 15, 16, 17. Yeah, about like underneath 14, I believe. So I believe I was using like this area here as my stop. Which is I think that also makes it a bit risky because technically price can still test the 7411 if you really want to be like real technical about where price can go. But as I'm observing this here, I'm seeing price tried to sell off and buyers are trying to hold this. I want to zoom in, but I want to make sure we're seeing everything. Now you can see volume for buyers is getting stronger. CVD is trying to curl up a bit, but I'm still not gonna just jump the gun just because of that. That idea of like you want to see buyers push and then a quick little pullback hold and keep going is what I'm waiting for. So I see this and I'm like, okay, buyers are here. They're trying to push this higher. Liquidity up above is still clear. I'm not gonna just get long just because I see buyer movement up, but I do want to see a quick little pullback down to this like 17 area and for them to hold with buyers showing their presence again. And you can even see here, buying got strong here around 74.17. Now I'm getting that pullback.
Was this the $60 trade?
Yeah,
This one was a good one.
yeah, this one was solid. And I'm still like, I don't know.
But everything
But
still looks bullish though.
yeah, for sure. And I like how sellers are trying. Like you can see them physically trying to push price lower and it's just it's struggling. So this to me is like, okay, there's possibility of buyers holding this. And remember, my line in the sand is the 7411, so I don't want to see them get underneath that.
So now you're just waiting for an entry.
Yeah. Okay, I'm liking this here. I'm liking how we're getting back above these large buyers. Sellers tried multiple times here and failed. Now on this next pop, I get long. And look at liquidity. They're not there. That wall that we seen is gone. I'm long here.
That stop being 13 or what?
13, 14, 15, 16, 7. Yeah, like 13 point something. And look at that. As soon as I got in, buyers just stepped in. I probably could have even waited a little here. Maybe. I'm not sure. My entry wouldn't have been as good. But see how on this pop, I didn't just get long just because buyers stepped back in. I wanted what I was saying last week, I think, with both of when we were all on together, I was saying I want buyers to prove themselves. So here, buyers first we got that bullish sentiment that I explained why I was even bullish here. And then we got that pullback, the liquidity clears. And now once buyers step in again, I need to make sure they prove themselves. So they push up, I let them pull back a little, see where they want to pull back to. And then on that next momentum is when I'm like, okay, let them reclaim that 17 and I'll get in if they reclaim it with strength. So I would say whenever you're thinking of getting in a position, so see, I could have been a little more patient even here. But
Were you
whenever,
shitting your pants right here?
honestly, I felt pretty comfortable with this trade because of that idea of the liquidity clearing up above.
Uh,
What if you,
And I knew this, if it got closer to the 74.11, then I'd be shitting it.
what if they just
Because
so what did? Oh, go for it.
what if they just swept all these stop hunts real quick?
that's why I'm saying my stop was a bit risky because I could have got, you're right, I could have got stopped out and
Yeah.
it could have came down to 74.11 and then popped up.
So do you always have a line in the sand to where you invalidate the setup?
You want, yeah, definitely want to have an area where it's like, okay, underneath this is these, they lose control if they remain under that.
And then if the limit orders reappeared at 74.25 before you entered, would you invalidate it again?
Yeah, that would definitely make me, especially being where we were, like underneath supply. Like if limit orders would have stayed here, I would have not got long.
Uh,
Damn, so
But the fact that, go for it.
you gotta be paying attention to so much. Where I'm glad I'm learning this because I'd be just getting distracted if we're not in my area, if we're not in my zones.
Yeah,
yeah, I know.
for sure.
But you have to keep up with this story the whole time.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the thing that I don't know if I said it in the chat or where, but the way I'm explaining it right now, you're reading the auction. You're seeing what is currently happening. Before it was just like, okay, it's at a level, it's testing these limit orders, we're seeing rejection, and you get in on the retest. But now it's like, okay, read the story. What did price do as it got to your level, and how is buyers or sellers reacting as it builds next to that level. And that's what ChatGPT was telling me. It was like you're evolving from just reading patterns to reading what the auction is saying, which
I,
I'm not going to lie, adapting that is a bit like overwhelming. But once you start to like really see the story more and more, it starts to make even more sense than just reading the pattern or why
yeah,
wait pattern.
the story was super clear on this one.
Yeah.
It was a perfect example. I wish we recorded this review.
Well, you know I am.
Oh, you are?
I always record. If you're in my room, you're always being recorded.
Hell yeah. This one's a jam. I like this one.
And see how like yeah, it's not pushing right away, but the other thing was I knew that I had to be more patient with this because I knew I was under supply. So I was like, I can't expect it to like just pop up right away. Like I have to let this develop a bit. And as long as we stay above 74.11, I should be good.
That invalidation line or whatever, the line in the sand, is like a game changer, I think.
Yeah.
Because it makes sense. It's been tested there multiple times and it rallied off there really hard, exactly around there.
Yep.
And then and it continues to hold as you enter.
Exactly. The only criticism I do give my trade is where my stop was, just because it
It was
was,
like 5 points.
yeah. Not even only that, but just it was inside of where I could have got stop hunted, like Elo
Uh,
said.
so you wanted it like preferably under 74.11.
Yeah, exactly. But that was just way too wide. I didn't want to put that kind of risk on.
Yeah.
That's like 8 points on, or 6 points. I mean, I guess that could work since I'm targeting 15 points, but still.
Dude, CUD looks flat as hell.
Yeah.
You're like, oh shit, my
But
pants
see,
are.
technically it's stabilizing because we got all this aggressive selling and it could CBD couldn't make lower lows.
Mm.
And as it's stabilizing, price pushing up higher, that's positive there. And now
So
here I was like, oh, I got this one.
yeah, around here you felt so good, huh?
Fuck yeah. Those limit orders still remain there. Oh, I did see these limit orders appearing. That made me a little nervous because I was like, damn, are they reappearing? But the fact that they weren't just solid sitting there was the positive sign. Like them trying to like scare you out here. This is what I was talking. This freaked me out a bit because I was unsure what they were trying to do here.
But notice,
But chat did say that when they disappear and then reappear like this, it's kind of them just trying to trick you out of your position.
and even though there's volume on 7423,
Oh,
there's no volume occurring on the CVP in that range, right?
say that again. I got
So
freaked
even though
out by
there's
that.
limit orders appearing on 7423 on the COB, that entire range on the CVP is empty. Like there's nothing going on right there, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So which is, I guess,
If these were stronger sellers, you would see the buying start to like fade away and the selling side start to show more presence. And that's what happened to me today. The buying looked like this, and as price got to 75.15, sellers started to step in and the buying started to fade away and the sellers started to get stronger. But I didn't catch that in real time until I reviewed my trade and I was like, fuck, I didn't even see that. So that's one thing that you have to be aware about. Like, yes, we see, like, as you see this happening here, you see super strong buying. But then if sellers start to step in and you see that buying starting to fade away and more selling start to come in with price struggling, that's absorption happening. That's not momentum continuation type of action. But you kind of have I haven't even replayed today's tape, so I don't know exactly how it occurred. I was just looking at screenshots I took and I can see it slowly start to fade away in my screenshots. But see here, yes, we did get a rejection. We're still holding that that key range. Damn, how did I hold through this actually?
for real.
But we're still above that 74.11. And that 74.15 is super important to me because that's where that aggressive buying started to build up.
I'd have loaded up right there on contracts, bro. That's my strategy.
And again, the rejection happened and then limit orders started to clear up again. So now prices coming into the limit orders and you want to see them easily break through them.
When the bubbles are tiny like that, I get all nervous.
Yeah.
You just gotta trust the CVP and Delta
Yep. And
order flow.
the way it popped into it also, like if it was like super slow popping into it, that would be more nerve-wracking than like a just fast pop and then it holding like this.
Um,
So see it's buyers are staying in control here. Liquidity's kind of trying to clear up. It clears. Buyers stay up above here. Buying is building up again at 74.25. And say you didn't want to be too risky and take this trade long that I took because it's undersupply, you even had a chance to let it pop into like this 75-30, 75-35 area, wait for a pullback to hold these large buyers. And
That's
then
what I thought. That's what I thought you were gonna do in the
yeah,
first
that
place.
was that was my initial idea, but the way it was developing, I was like, "Oh, this is this is my setup happening just at a in like a lower part of the range." And then I ended up holding it to 74.30
So do you see
right
yourself
there.
taking more trades like this?
What?
Are you going to be taking more trades like this moving forward?
I've been are you referring to like undersupply like that? That's scary. I'm
Or like,
honestly like
oh yeah, you did do that.
but I'll show you last week and the week prior, I took this same exact concept. Um I just wanted you to see this one thing here. Okay, see here how price hit at about right under 74.35 and look at where it pulls back to around this 74.25-23 area and then we get a massive push all the way into the key supply 74.50. And look
Oh,
at
that's what happened after.
yeah. And look at where all the buying built up at. 926 right at 74.25. Where does price pull back to? That's 74.25 and holds.
Really?
So I'm pointing it out because you can see that here we got a reclaim of the 4 hour supply. It pops up, makes it clears up the space here at 74.30, let's say 35, pulls back, and then pushes again. I don't know if I have that action. Doubt it. I do here. See how it cleared that 74.35 area or 34 area, but the wall of limit orders was a lot way stronger. And yeah, we have this 74.30 wall of 500 lots. So here in this case, I would wait to see it test that, pull back, and then get long. I don't know if that's what happens though. Oh shit, it just broke it super crazy. Oh yeah, that was some news or some shit that made that
Should have held.
happen. But yeah, that's like the it's the same idea. Just I mean, you can't really expect that to. You can't like what's the word I'm looking for? Like expect just a massive rally like that to happen. That's kind of out of our hands. Um,
That's a good one.
yeah, let me see. Should I do one of the ones from last week or the week prior? There was one on the 7th.
That's better.
I'll do the 7th of May. But is what I'm saying the same as what I was saying last week, Gabriel? Like it's still the same idea, right?
Yeah, same idea. It's just last week I didn't really wasn't able to like really comprehend what you were telling me
Yeah.
until I like experienced it in the during the week and I was like, oh shit, okay, it's doing this and all this shit, and then now you're just putting it together.
All right.
I'm understanding a little bit more.
Do you remember what date the last example was?
20th.
The 20th.
It's the sucky thing about like learning new confirmations or whatever for me is that I always overthink everything in the beginning, like I did with CVD.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So
Even
that,
what sucks even more is that like I like for example, this week we weren't really in a momentum continuation type of environment. So the same thing that was working last week wasn't working as good this week. So I was getting
Mm.
confused with like, am I seeing the same thing or what's happening? And it was the fact that we weren't in a momentum continuation environment. We were kind of in between that range the whole time, that 4 hour supply and that 4 hour demand. So price wasn't continuing the way I was expecting it to because we were in consolidation basically.
Oh, okay. But was it much different when you traded in consolidation?
It's just knowing that when you see that aggressive buying building up on the delta, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to break to continue higher. It could be absorption happening instead. And that's where your mind has to really uh get used to that
And I guess
difference.
you gotta kind of know that for sure if it's consolidation or not. So if you're so if you enter, you get out at the range highs or whatever.
Exactly. I feel like last week was the better example just because I don't remember the week prior as good.
It's the coming up with the story that's been hard for me too. I'm not really good at coming up with the what bulls and bears are doing.
Yeah, yeah, that see, and the thing is, I don't know how that ended up clicking for me.
Makes sense though.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go over May 13th right here. On May 13th, I got long at 6:57 a.m. All right, let me put my zone 64 or 7407. Why is it lagging? Eloy, does anything confuse you about this so far?
I'm sure, like Gabe said, I just have to experience it, but it's good to know that there's something new to look out for. Like, I'm just gonna have to understand how these, what type of stories, or what do you call it? Like, I have to just figure out how to read these stories and like really read the battle between the buyers and the sellers. But like this, I could see how this can work. I just gotta really see it in action.
If you guys want to, next week we could get on a live chat
Yeah,
so
I'm
that
down.
I can just, rather than having to type it the whole time, I can just tell you guys how I'm perceiving it for the
Yeah, I'm
delta.
probably just gonna observe next week anyways.
Yeah, I'm on demo
So you can
trading.
take
It
it.
sucks.
But the thing that's making it click for me is the that line in the sand. It's just like because I wasn't thinking about my entries as a range. I was thinking about as a key level, and I
Yeah.
figured for instance, like if it hit 74.11 on that last one, I would have invalidated a long time ago because my entry would have been 74.20, 74.23 ish. It would have
Yeah,
been.
I definitely that helped me a lot where it was like, okay, understand key levels as a range rather than like a specific price. All right, so this one, market sells off super strong at the open, breaks my 90-minute demand zone at 74.21, but I had a 30-minute demand zone at 74.07. And as that was happening, NQ was holding my 90-minute demand zone on pre-market. So basically, ES was holding the 30-minute demand zone as NQ was holding higher lows. I mean, high, higher lows on the 90-minute. So NQ was supporting my idea that this 30-minute was a strong zone on ES. And the only reason I did consider it was because it was right underneath my 90-minute demand zone. So I was like, okay, if sellers are super strong, they can push it into the 30-minute. But if buyers strongly reclaim this, then it could be a valid opportunity to get long with NQ aligning with that thesis. So even before reading the auction, I'm seeing that NQ and ES are supporting around the same time. So now here I'm seeing that if we just look from 6:30 a.m. to what's currently happening, going into 6:40, above we have some strong buying that tried and failed at 74.23. We have some buying that tried at around 74.21, 74.18. And then beneath that, all we have is just super massive selling. 200 lots filled, 183, 242. So there's nothing here that's really telling me to get long unless this area here where the buying occurred and this strong 400 lots of sellers gets reclaimed. So my only long idea at the moment is if this 74.21 gets reclaimed, pops up, tests this 74.27, clears liquidity, pulls back down, and then rallies back up. That's my only idea right now. But
Why
I
not the
do
25 though?
what?
Why not the 74.25?
No,
Because it's
that
weaker.
is I should have said 25. I didn't even realize how thick that was. But this remember, it's a range. So like this
Uh,
area here is what I want to see get tested. Pull back, clear up for a continuation to the upside. But that's not happening at the moment and now price is continuing to fall lower. So that kind of is out of the picture. Now I'm looking at okay, price can continue lower into 30-minute demand here. If I were to consider anything, let it just get into 30-minute for me to come up with a clearer.
Here's a random question: because is there ever have you seen moments where the delta, like there's buying and sellers at the same price in the delta, or that's kind of like not possible because in order for there to be a seller there needs to be a buyer, and in order for there to be a buyer there needs to be a seller?
I mean, if it's gonna look anything like that, it would be like this, where like there's some buying, then super large selling, and then some buying beneath. I've never really seen it where it's like a super long seller like this, and then a super long buyer at the same time.
So whatever small little buys you see in like a bigger little volume section, those are just like little random ones. Those aren't really like the
It's
real.
all relative to the volume of what's the volume is for that session, though.
Hmm.
Because say there's super heavy volatility where it's like there's massive amounts of volume in that day, then these numbers are going to be larger than what we're seeing right now. but around like 200, like stacked 200s or like these 400s for right the current moment that I'm looking at the markets, these past 2 3 weeks, those seem to be like the larger sizes. Yeah, sometimes we'll get those super outliers that are like 900 or 1,000, but for the most part it's around back 200s or like one large 400 or like a 500, 600. Those are like the ones that stick out to me right now. But even just looking at, do you get why I'm saying I need to see a reclaim here?
Oh, I wanted you to explain a little more about reclaiming, but I have an understanding of it.
So
But
it's all based off of the idea that where did all the large participants start to drop the market here? If we just look at from 6:30 a.m. to the current, the large selling really started occurring around this 74.20. So this is where price would need to reclaim. This aligns with my 90-minute demand zone, the 74.21, because it's in that same range here. So I'm looking at, I'm marking it here from this buying to this like little buying here, this little pocket of buyers with the large selling. I'm telling myself, if buyers truly are in control, they need to reclaim this to push price higher. And now I'm looking at what's happening at the current moment and I'm seeing that 400 large type of selling occurring again here. So that's catching my attention right now, just observing this.
Are you? Is it interesting to you because it can't break below?
That and it's just like the
Oh,
largest
just the
selling
large
that's
part.
occurring. I'm not just gonna get long just because I see that though. Like I need,
Yeah.
like I said earlier, I need buyers to prove themselves to me. So here
So
I'm go for it.
where would your line in the sand be for here?
Right now it's this look, it's this 74, what is it? 74.11, I guess you can call it.
Oh,
So
okay.
right now at this current moment, if if price pulls back again, I would want to see how buyers react to this selling that occurred here at 74.11, 74.10.
so, like, if it gets there, because that's the only selling volume, you want to see buyers outperform it or like just beat it by a lot more volume,
I
ideally.
want to see, I'm when price gets back down here, I'm looking at the actual reaction of price when it's here. Like are buyers sweeping and trying to push it fast up, or is selling just aggressively pushing price lower? You know how when I entered on that last review we had, I let price pop up and then pull back a bit, and then I waited for that next momentum push.
I wasn't here for
Do
the
you remember
last
that?
one, but
No, the last trade we just reviewed right
oh,
now.
oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that's what I'm looking for. So as price is coming down right here, I want to see buyers trying to sweep that shit up. So right now I'm telling myself, okay, we got this massive buying here. You can't get emotional off this. Was there news? Fuck, I don't even remember. What date was this? Did I say the
13th.
13th? There wasn't news. So that could make you emotional there. Feel like you're missing out on something, but you kind of just need to. That's a battle. That's a battle for sure. Because even I feel like I'd get emotional off that shit. But remember also that even if buyers were able to push this higher for a good solid target type of position, you would still need to battle this 74.20. So just because this sweep happens, you can remain yourself calm because you're like, okay, yeah, they could push from this bottom of demand to this top of demand, but they still need to battle this 74.20. So if you see this large push here and you miss on it, you're like, well, that's only 5 points. So point wise, it doesn't even make sense to try to get long on that here. So you need a deeper pullback is what I'm saying.
Aren't you still waiting for price to get 74.26 or some shit like that?
Yeah, exactly. I'm just saying, like, don't allow yourself to get emotional just because you
Uh,
see a push like that. Like, remember that you have to battle these 74.20s still.
yeah. So you're not even looking for an entry here, not at all yet.
Unless I see something super interesting down here around 74.11, because then that would make sense. Like, okay, 74.11 to 74.20, that seems like a reasonable amount of points.
What would you have to see?
That thing I told you, the sweeps of those buyers, like really showing their presence, trying to push price up.
But sweeps are hard to catch, right? So you might like not get the perfect reversal, like a point or two
But
off.
see, you're not just getting long just because you see a sweep. You remember I said you want buyers to prove themselves. So you want to see that sweep, a quick pullback that fails to break under these 74.10s, and then on that next aggressive momentum, you get long.
The sweeps just show intent. What
Exactly.
buyers what
That's what I'm
buyers want.
for. Yes, intent. And then you want to wait for them to really prove themselves by selling, failing to push lower, and then you use that next push of momentum as your entry. And now see prices coming down here.
Excuse me.
We're not really seeing that strong type of buy presence. It's just like lagging to sell, nothing really there on the buyer side.
Hmm.
Nothing here telling me that buyers want this. Not yet, at least. Selling is getting larger here. No buy sweeps. Nothing. No intent. If buyers really wanted to support this, they would have been like push like showing that like little shove, those shoves they give. And
The
see,
quick buys.
exactly. See, that right there is not the true intent. That's why I never want to get long just because it pushes like that. You want them to. Ah, fuck, I went too far. Fuck. Because this little push here is something I personally battle with sometimes. Like you're waiting and you're just like, you see that and you get a little excited, but you don't want to just get long because you see that. You want to like let that pullback occur and see what's happening. But now you see how this 500 lot seller is here at 74.10. Now, if buyers are really gonna support this, they need to reclaim this 500 lot seller because underneath that, you're gonna have to battle this 74.10. Now look at volume here. We're seeing aggressive selling stepping in here. CVD is dropping, not making a new low, but price is making a new low. So that's catching my attention. And remember, I was watching NQ hold that. Look, I lost it. Hold that 90-minute demand here. So this is currently the pullback we're seeing here on this, and it's holding up this 90-minute demand zone still as price is or pushing down into. I guess it's not that pullback here. Should I'm tripping. We're watching this here. This push into 90-minute demand. Excuse me. Fuck, I lost it. Is it this one? How did I lose it? This one. Okay, so now I want to see a hold above 74.10. It didn't happen. All right, there's no reason for me to even try longing this because we will have to battle that 74.10. So now that I know 90-minute demand on NQ is support and it could hold potentially, I see this 7411 400 lot aggressive seller that tried here. Now my idea is a reclaim of this 7411 could be a valid long to target that 7420, even up to 7422 here.
So now you're using the previous line in the sand as an entry point.
Exactly. If we
So
show the like really strong buyer presence,
so if you do change your setup like that, do you have a new line in the sand?
because the look at how all this aggressive selling is building up here, and CVD is failing to make new lows here. That you don't see any large large sal delta here. The all the large sal delta we're seeing is above the is right at this 7410. So to me, it's still technically you can say my line in the sand because I need to see them reclaim it. But once they reclaim it, I do not want to see them get beneath it with aggression.
Oh, okay.
So it's technically still my line in the sand. I just want to see buyers truly show that they want price above it.
Oh, okay.
But I like how this selling is building up and CBD is struggling. I mean, yeah, it is kind of making a new low at this point. Yeah, it is kind of making an oh, yeah, it is a new low. But it's all about how buyers reclaim this. If they show it like being real laggy and slow, then I don't really want it. Now this selling is really building up. Look at that volume on the delta. Realize how deep it went. Oh, it tested the psychological level 7400. One thing I do like about this system is that now you're not trying to be reverse right at the low because I feel like when I was trying to reverse right at the tick of the bottom, I would get stopped real fast because I didn't know what the bottom was. Now I can give it a little bit of room to push up higher and use that reclaim as my line in the sand, as you would say. So already just looking at this, I can see these limit orders building at 7420 again that were here earlier. And I'm telling myself, okay, if we reclaim this 7410 here, from 7410 to 7420 is 10 points. So that's my usual type of setup. But I need to see that reclaim. I like how these limit orders are here too. This is all aligning with, okay, this is an important level here. Cleared up those limit orders. This buying is super strong. Look at the CVD. Look at the buying volume. I still need to see that reclaim of 7410 though.
Held the zero line too.
Yep. Okay, now I'm telling myself, okay, if we do reclaim, what's that limit order that it has to test? I would say it's the 7414 area here. So I would want to see price aggressively push above 7410, test these 7414s, pull back, and hold that 7410 range again. Maybe even this, preferably 14.
So what does it mean if there's no limit orders? Do you change it to higher limit orders that you're looking for to touch and then pull back, or do you have to try do you have to kind of like change your story up?
No, you're right. It would be like, say I didn't see anything at 14. I'd be like, okay, it probably has to test like this 16 limit order. Okay, now look at this buying happening here. I like this. Still not valid just to get long just because it could pull back. That idea that I said is still in play. I want to see it test these 74.14 limit orders, then pull back and hold. I'm gonna zoom in a bit. So yeah, it's gonna be this 13 to 16 area. These either one of these, pull back and then hold. But you guys get why I'm watching for 74.10 now, right?
Yeah.
And if I zoom out, you can still see that that large selling is there, 409, 259, 312. You see the momentum from the buyers is there after all this aggressive selling failed. And if we were looking at NQ, you would see that it's holding that 90-minute demand.
This just takes away so many nerves.
Oh yeah. And the thing is, I I still need to adjust to this too. When those nerves are there, most likely it's not a valid setup. And that was happening to me today. I didn't feel as confident as I did say on Wednesday when I took that long. So those nerves were actually trying to protect me from entering, it felt like. All right, now this is starting to build up further. Still no reason to enter though. This is where it does get a little hard when it's like at your level kind of and you're like, "Damn, is it going to test these limit orders though or is it going to shoot right past it?" And usually it will test it and then pull back. I'm going to fast forward a bit. Oh, fuck, that was too much.
So if it just shoots up and doesn't retest your line in the sand, you just let it go then?
Yeah. You don't really want to chase it. I mean, we already know that.
Yeah.
So here's the I just want to make sure we see. All right, so it pulled back slightly after rejecting 74.10. Now we're getting that strong break above 74.10 here. Okay, so the same idea is still there. I want to see these 74.14 orders get tested. And this is where it becomes a battle because you're seeing this 74.12, you're seeing it pull back, and you're like, damn, is this the move? But you at least in current conditions, you want to see at least like a 4 to 5 point like push off the reclaim and then pull back. And these limit orders just appeared out of nowhere. Like as this setup was appearing, we seen these 74.14s were the ones that were sitting there for the most part. So that's why I'm persistent on like, no, I need to see these 74.14s get tested. Right, here it goes. It's testing. It could push up slightly like this, a little higher, but it should come back. And now if you zoom out, you can see that selling kind of, I mean, it's still kind of there, but it kind of got cleared up a bit. Now this is where you have to be patient and really be like, okay, this pullback should happen. And then we're getting this limit order sitting at 74.09, which aligns with it's kind of like there, not there. But it does align with that area, that line in the sand we were talking about. Getting strong, the limit orders are getting stronger, the pullback's happening here. And now, Eloy, this is where I said you want to see those those sweeps occur. That intent from buyers. All right, we're getting that strong selling. CVD is holding a higher low here. Price does go a little deeper. Buyers showing that intent. Sellers are trying to push this lower. Not really doing it. All right, here's now I want to get long on this next. I'm long here. And there it goes. See how, let me just zoom in on this here.
Open the box.
So buyers, what happened?
Can you open the zone box or
Was
expand
zone buck.
the dotted box, the demand zone?
Open it?
Like extend it.
What you mean?
Oh, he wants to see price inside the demand zone.
Yeah, I just want to see the demand zone.
Oh,
To see how it reacts inside the zone.
I don't know why I thought it was that other line. Like that, right?
Yeah.
So remember, 7410 is that range that or that level that we were focused on. We get that buyer intent here, and then you're gonna see a slight pullback here, and then that intent shows up again, and price tries to pull back one more time right here, and buyers show that intent again. So that's showing me that as the intent is happening, sellers are failing. So that's why I got long here. We seen three or two or three tests of sellers trying to push it lower around this 7410 after the reclaim already occurred. With though even looking up, that was one thing I forgot to mention. Looking up above, look at how the liquidity clears on that 74. Look at how thick it was here, that 74.16, 74.15, 74.14. Now once price pulls back, look at how it clears up. And if you look, I don't even know yet, but I'm pretty sure at 74.20 we're gonna see limit orders. Yep. Okay. So now this becomes my target. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're long here already. Market starts pushing.
Yeah, it's a clean one.
Yeah. It does struggle a bit once we get to pre-market low. It kind of like chops for a bit. But I mean, you got in basically at the low, so there's not much to worry about.
Now, if we could only do this every single day.
Yeah. Bro. But see how like the whole story developed from the moment that those large sellers appeared here.
Yeah.
So like it took 6:45 to almost 15 minutes for the setup to actually finally occur. But I was already watching this for the setup once we made these lows down here. And that's honestly when it's the best. When like when the price can be like over here and you already have a plan of where how price can get to where you want it to get to. And then once you start to see it occur, that's when you're like, oh shit, I'm reading the story.
Yeah. And Delta's the last key.
Yep. Definitely. This shit.
Then we get those steaks.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. But basically, it hits these 74.20s. I told myself I could have probably tried to hold to VWAP, but I took my 10 points.
Nah, that's a good trade though. It was well thought out.
Yeah.
So
Um,
was the first one.
so another one.
Sure. It's almost 10 though. We got 20 minutes.
All right. I'll do May 15th.
I
Does
want to
that
listen to this one again, man.
sick? Does that make sense, Eloy?
Yeah. Once again, I just got, yeah. I mean, I'm definitely taking this with me to the next session. I just gotta get more data on this.
Yeah, yeah, Eloy, you definitely have to experience and pay attention to it in real time. Because I know you probably do understand, but you're not comprehending the full thing. Probably that's how I was, at least.
But no, I'm excited to look forward to this type of monitoring because I'm telling you, like, sometimes if it's in no man's land, I'm like not even paying attention. I'm like, I'll wait till it gets to my zones, even if I could probably learn something. But Delta
Yeah,
gives me a whole nother story to look at that kind of forces me to pay attention to the details because some of those volume, like whatever you call it, like those volume bars are, they're not there the whole time. So you have to kind of see them appear.
yeah,
I agree, though. I used to get a, I mean, obviously there's slower sessions than others, but yeah, it definitely keeps you uh awake for like, okay, what's the story being told? So this time it was a daily demand at 74.35. And there was a 90 at 74.1. The thing too is though, like we're going over sessions that were easier to read, I'd say. So like there's gonna be sessions where you're like, fuck, I don't know what Delta's really telling me because it's not as clear. And really that's kind of just saying like stand down, don't be looking to take a trade.
yeah,
But that's still something I'm personally trying to like push through. Like, okay, if you're confused, then the story's not clear.
yeah.
So right here, price is coming down into daily demand. Just looking at the current, what's currently happening on Delta, we can see the largest buying occurred right at the open with this 74.60 price, 339 lot buyer. Everything else is pretty thin. The selling was pretty strong up here around 74.57. Nothing really sticking out down here other than the fact that we got all these aggressive ass limit orders.
See, I would have been in already, and the Delta's telling a whole different story.
Oh, this is our just 5 minutes into the open. I didn't realize that.
Damn, with those three bounces at the dotted line, I would have been so bullish, and the Delta's like telling a whole different story now.
So just right now, looking at the what's happening, we're seeing some large buying delta here between 74.40 to 74.32.
Would line in the sand be 74.31 ish? 74.32?
Yeah. See, when it's like this, in my head, I'm thinking like, oh, this could be a two. What is the where it touches the limit orders twice?
Uh, double top,
Like
double bottom?
like the two touch absorption that we were originally trying to trade,
I have no idea.
where it bounces off the limit orders and then it pulls back to the limit orders and then it pops again.
Shallow pullback? I have no idea.
um, basically, what I'm saying here is like, I see this pop and I'm like, okay, it could pull back to these limit orders and hold again. That's a potential setup, but really, all this buying is just there's a seller here. I need to see the reaction at these limit orders. I can't just get long just because I see buying like this.
So if it passes below the 74.30 level area, you want to see a quick sweep above for buyers,
Above what?
The limit
the
orders.
74, the limit orders, 74.30 ish.
It just depends how the delta builds up down here. I honestly don't remember how it built up, so I'm unsure of what I'm looking for right now. Like right now, just looking at what's in front of me, I'm seeing large buying here at this 74.35. So if there was anything that I may be interested, it would be like if price reclaims up here and then we see some aggression and price pushes higher, but I don't think that happens until after we get lower. And see, this is the scenario where it's like just because you see aggressive buying delta here doesn't necessarily mean like get long. It's just giving you information here. That's all this is doing, just providing us information for things that are currently occurring. Where's that 90? Oh, 74.20. Damn, it's low. Didn't I put it? Oh, there it is.
Oh, it goes all the way to the 90?
Yeah, down here. So just off of what's here again, all I'm seeing is some large buying. The only thing that I could think of at the moment is so that I don't try to reverse right at the low is a reclaim of this 74.35 and seeing like some super aggressive buying into this 74.40 and then pull back that potentially holds here. But that's the only thing I can think of at the moment. I'm not trying to just get long down here at the lows. So now I just fast forwarded a bit. I see that we have this aggressive selling down here. CVD is trying to hold higher lows as price is making new lows. Let me see what NQ is doing because NQ's been helping me a lot lately. Ah, don't tell. Oh, here. So even on this day, I believe we held this 90-minute demand as well. Yeah, because look at how right here we tested that 90-minute at 74.21, which was the low a day. And At the same time, NQ's holding this 90-minute demand zone. Oh fuck. So now, damn, what the hell? Now we're getting some aggressive buying down here at the lows with CVD making a strong push upward. I don't really have anything unless we get 35. The only thing I can think of just looking at price, I mean looking at bookmap, is if we reclaim this 74.35 again, test this 74.40, pull back and hold that 35. Just looking at where the resistance could be. Yeah, that would be the only idea I have. But this reclaim is I mean, this push up is starting to get pretty damn strong here. So this what we're about to see is going to be a scenario where I'm seeing this 74.40 as a potential area where price can test and then watch for a pullback. But this is a the scenario where it actually breaks this 74.40 very strong, breaks this 74.45 and actually pops into this 74.50 where I see no reason for price. I mean, this 74.52.
There it goes.
But this
Falling.
is that where you asked Gabriel, where you were like, "Oh, if it doesn't pull back, do you just let it go?" And this is gonna be that type of push where it I mean, it does do it here technically, but I don't know why I hesitated on. I think I even might have said I hesitated, to be honest. But see how it tested this 75, I mean 74.40? Yeah, I do
Yeah.
remember saying I hesitated. I called this out too. It tested 74.40, pulls back, and we're seeing all this aggressive buying around this 74.32 to 74.40 area. So if this buying holds with aggression, it could work, but my line in the sand is I mean, there's an LVN here too. I think this is the why part of the reason why I didn't take this specific trade because I was kind of like, I don't know, it's pulling back deep as fuck.
But sometimes you do change your line in the sand, right?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. That's what I wanted to know.
but it's all dependent on like, see right here, I would say we have this aggressive buying with an LVN right underneath it. So this you can almost see like this 74.27 is that area that you don't want to see sellers get under, which I don't think they do.
Yeah, I mean, that zone still makes sense because of the LDN on SVP.
Yeah. And it's inside of our demand zone. So like it
It just
really
added confidence.
exactly. But I was in my head, I was still in the um assumption of or thought process of I want to see a reclaim of 74.35 here. And I think once it reclaims right now, I don't have time to enter if I'm not mistaken. Ah, fuck. Yeah, see, there wasn't, let's just see it. Kind of got to see that. Yeah, see, it just pushes, and I don't really have a pullback to get in on. I mean, maybe there, but you gotta be really fast and trust it. So now we're seeing these limit orders at 74.44. Now I'm feeling like, damn, this is taking off without me. But if we zoom out, we still see this large buying here. You can see it from 74.40 down to 74, let's say 32.50. And then you still have that LBN pocket under that 74 or at 74.27. And see, this is that scenario where, like, if I got long here on this simple little pullback for whatever reason, I didn't have patience to wait for a pullback to 74.35. This is where holding to VWAP could be dangerous. So that's why I'm like, right now at least, I'm very cautious on, like, okay, if it hits my 10 points, like, kind of just take your profits, because as you can see here, price pushes all the way to 74.50 and then pulls back before it finally hits VWAP. We'll just fast forward a bit. I didn't get in on this because obviously I missed it, but I'm zooming out just to see what could be a potential setup still. We have this 74.40 right where those large buying range we had mentioned, down to 74.32, and then we still have that LVM pocket.
I would have got in at 40 right there at a pullback.
Right, like on this next pullback or over here?
Yeah, this next pullback just because the COB and then
Oh yeah, yeah.
all the orders that did already buy there that got
Yeah,
filled there.
I feel that. But remember, when it comes down here, you want to see those sweeps from buyers. So at the moment, I'm seeing heavy limit orders at 74.50. We know that there's a demand zone here, first of all. Then we know that we have all this aggressive buying here. We know we have an LBN pocket underneath. So this area here is still a bullish potential. Look at how those limit orders disappeared and now they moved down to 74.35. Back to that range that we were, it's still inside of that range basically.
What was your range again?
74.40 to 74.32.
Uh,
Or I guess now that I'm like widened it, 74.33.
oh, what the hell?
And how do you treat the LVN underneath that?
That's just like a pocket for price to fall into.
But you're still waiting for a
That's his
reclaim?
that's his line in the sand.
Yeah. So really, I want to see price hold above this daily demand, this 74.35. That's where I want to see buyers be aggressive again. But I mean, if you want to catch a super low, you can use this LVM pocket. But for protection, one, I see all the buying is above here. So this 74.40 to 74.33. So that's really where I want to see those buyers get strong. And that same idea is going to apply where I want to see price reclaim this 35, push into the 74.40, pull back, and then rally into the 74.50. So now here I'm seeing these buyers starting to show that some slight presence. But I'm not just chasing this just because I see. Why did it freeze? Alright, it's about it. I'm gonna fast forward a bit up here. All right, we're reclaiming this. If you look at how this buying occurred, we're reclaiming it with some strength, but we're not holding above it yet. So there's really no reason to get in just yet. Remember, I want to see that price pop up into like this 74.40 area, pull back and hold. 74.40 is because that's that top of that buying range. But if you zoom out all the way to from 6:30 to the present, you can see all that buying is still in this range here. So here's that push, 74.40. So right now we're seeing the reclaim. Now we need to see the acceptance above it. All right, I'm liking this. It's testing that 40. Now I want to see the pullback. Oh shit, did I miss it? The fuck, did I miss it? What's going on here? Okay, here's the pullback happening. I hope. Okay, here's the pullback. Now we want to see that sweep of buyers. Remember my line in the sand technically is 32, but it could drop into that pocket still. I want to see those buyers pop up. Did I get in? So here's one pot. I think I got in.
You actually took this trade?
Yeah. So I'm watching the reclaim here or the acceptance here. It pulls back slightly. We got that aggressive pop here. On this next momentum push, I get in. Here.
You got it already?
I did get in kind of early. But see, that's exactly why I want to see that push, the pullback, and then buyers prove themselves. Here they didn't fully prove themselves yet. I would have preferred a larger push, but I mean, even here, you're still seeing sellers trying to push this lower, and they just really are failing here. CBD's holding a higher low on a pretty strong pullback too, or a pretty deep pullback, I should say. And I believe my stop was under 32 here. But see how all this selling, that's one, we got this we got this aggressive pullback. Then two, we got this second pullback attempt after a strong sweep from buyers. Then we get a second sweep from buyers. And now sellers are just trying to push this lower, but are just failing. At my key level, pretty much right at my key level, where all the buying was, with an LVN pocket underneath. And we already seen that buyers showed their momentum presence here. So buyers really want to support this. And here is finally where it happens. And now from here, the momentum is pretty strong again. And I was targeting these highs here, 74.50. Damn, it still hasn't taken on. But I mean, on this one, you had so much time to get in.
Yeah.
Now it's starting to. But it's the same thing I was just talking about earlier. The 74.40 to 74.32 becomes your range because that's where all the aggressive buying occurred. And this is what I like to do when I'm looking at watching the story. I'll put my book map right at this where the 6:30 a.m. session starts so that I can see that CVP is showing me exactly all the value or all the delta that occurred in the intraday session. Once I see where that built up volume has occurred, then I want to see that pullback, or I want to see, in this case, it was a reclaim above it and then pull back into it. And as long as it aligns with the key level, then it's valid. If this buying were just somewhere random, then it's less reliable. You want it to be in a range of where your key level is. So in this case, our key level is daily demand 74.35. The buying accumulates around slightly beneath 74.35 and slightly above 74.35. So it's at our key level. You have that LVN pocket underneath, and then you get that strong pullback into it. You get the sweep from buyers. You let buyers show their presence, and then you get long on the next momentum push.
It's a good one.
Let's see.
But I mean, I'm trying to like say it almost identical to the past trades that we were reviewing, so that it kind of like you kind of get that idea. And like I said, there's gonna be, I mean, we still technically have to review like what happened today, where the momentum actually doesn't push higher, and it's actually a wall of sellers just blocking. So that's gonna take some adjusting too. I need to review the tape myself just to see the best way to explain it because I need to kind of comprehend it on my end as well. But this is like the reversal occurring, or like the momentum continuation. But there's gonna be times where you're seeing the aggressive buying happening. You see the delta build up, but then there's just limit order walls just blocking it from moving, and that's where you don't want to get long just because you see aggressive buy delta. But for now, I think this was good.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I finally got some details on Delta.
For sure. Like I said, next week we could go on live chat while the market's playing